Hey everyone, welcome back to 996. The Howl Utah Mammoth lose 2-0 to the Tampa Bay Lightning. A great competitive loss to the Utah Mammoth. We're right there from puck drop to the last whistle. A great game by the Utah Mammoth. But before we get into the game, this will be the last game recap until after the Olympic break. I'll be on vacation for 3 weeks. There will be videos to watch, about 7 videos locked and loaded throughout the next 3 weeks, so don't fret, there will be content. So let's get into this game. Yamamoto, who had a great game against Nashville, sticks in the lineup. He had a goal and assist against the Predators. He'll draw into the fourth line. O'Brien comes out and Krause is back in from illness, regaining that top line position alongside Keller and Schmaltz. Early on, Utah was great to start this game. The Peterka line has some good offensive zone pressure, and there's a great chance from a point shot from Cole where the puck trickles in the crease and Boot is right there in front of the goalie, but he can't get a stick on it. Tampa Bay was getting their chances too, but they were more off the rush, whereas Utah's chances were more chances generated from sustained offensive zone pressure, which I prefer more. Utah looked very fresh. They had energy, they had speed, and they had urgency in the O zone, just throwing pucks on net and generating some great pressure in the O zone. There's a nice chance by Schmaltz, who avoids a sort of hit on the boards, is on his knees, and finds Yamamoto late, filling in a lane all alone, and he takes a nice shot, but it's denied by Vasilevsky, who had a great game. Utah goes into some penalty trouble late in the first, 2.5 minutes left in the first period. They go on a penalty kill, they kill it off, but Tampa Bay had a lot of O-zone time and a lot of shots on goal on that power play. And late in the first, Dylan Guenther streaks in with Carcone. Carcone disrupts the defenseman, allowing Guenther a lot of time and space to pick his shot. And he sort of does that curl drag to pick his shot, change the angle of the shot, and he hits the post, the crossbar. Unbelievable job by Guenther and Carcone there. Guenther, the best player for Utah in this game, and Carcone was right there behind him. Both these guys, whenever they stepped on the ice, they were making plays and generating a lot of grade A chances. So we go into the second period, tied 0-0. Utah outshot Tampa Bay 12-11, but 5-on-5, they had the bigger edge in shots on goal. And 5-on-5 possession, Utah had 63% in that first period. So for me, just stay the course in the second period, stay disciplined, and don't get frustrated. You're facing a really great elite goalie. You're not going to score 3, 4, 5 goals. It's going to be a really close game. So don't get frustrated. Stick to what you were doing in the first. We go into the second period. Tampa Bay with an early chance, seconds in, one-on-one with Vejmelka, and Vejmelka stands tall, holds down the fort, and denies that chance. And then the Peterka line. It takes about 5 minutes for Utah to get going in the second period. And this Peterka line, 5 minutes in, the first sustained O-zone shift, they draw a penalty. And it's back-to-back power plays for the Utah Mammoth. They don't score on either of them. The first one, there was a nice Keller to Hayden chance in the crease, but that gets denied. And the second power play, good O-zone time, good passing, good momentum, but nothing to show for it. So we stay 0-0. You need a score on one of those 2 power plays in the second period in a low-scoring game. 10 minutes into the second period, Utah was out shooting Tampa Bay 7-1, thanks to those back-to-back power plays. And then when those power plays expire, there's a 2-on-1, Carcone and Guenther. Guenther has it, dishes it off to Carcone, and Carcone shoots, and he gets denied by Vasilevsky. And then Ian Cole just fired up, throwing a guy to the ground after a huge hit, and then he fights. Ian Cole, like, what is he, 37, 38 years old, just so fired up, emotional, getting into it. Like, love to see that from Ian Cole, and he's fighting, throwing big hits. So he gets sent to the box for 4 minutes. Tampa Bay gets 2 minutes, so it's a 2-minute power play for Tampa Bay. And fortunately, Utah kills it off, but they commit another penalty right at expiry. So they had back-to-back power plays. Now they have back-to-back PKs, and Marino took that second penalty. So what does that mean? You got 2 of your best defensemen penalty killers in the box. Marino and Cole are in the box. You only have 4 defensemen dressed. Sergachev, Dursey, Schmidt, and DeSimone. And DeSimone is on the ice for the goal. And I was watching him because I'm like, DeSimone's not a normal penalty killer. And this guy was swimming in the defensive zone. He was frantic, not comfortable at all. He didn't know what to do. If you rewatch this play, just stare at DeSimone. He's high, he's low, he's moving his stick too much, and Tampa Bay scores on a one-timer. Vejmelka really no chance on this bullet of a shot. Just unfortunate penalties taken by two big penalty-killing defensemen lead to the goal. So we're going to the third, down 1-0. They outshot Tampa Bay 8-6, and 5-on-5 possession dropped from 63% to 50%. So the game got more even as the game went on. So in the third, my notes were get back to how you played in the first, get back to that urgency in the O zone, throwing pucks to the net. And there's good pace to start the third, but nothing threatening for the Utah Mammoth. The Lightning had 0 shots on goal for the first 5 minutes of the third period. And then there's another Gunther to Carcone chance. Gunther finds Carcone alone, just one-on-one with the goalie at the side of the net. Not much time or space between him and the goaltender, and he can't lift the puck up over the goalie's pad. So we stay down 1-0. 10 minutes left. I needed a hero. I needed a game breaker. We needed someone just to come through and make that play. And as I was writing that down, I see Keller grab the puck, and he's on a breakaway, goes for that forehand, backhand, deke, 5-hole, but Vasilevsky closes the garage door on Keller. And then shortly after that, McBain has a great chance, a backhand in the slot. That gets denied as well. And then they have a power play. 6.5 minutes left in the third, down 1-0. You get a power play. Any other team in the league would score here, and this was a brutal power play, like really, really bad. The worst in the first two for sure earlier in the game. Just struggling to set up, struggling to gain entry in the zone, struggling to generate any sort of pressure, just a total failure of the power play here. And then the game unraveled after that power play. Some very questionable and brutal reffing here. I do agree, there was a missed call earlier in the game. Carcone and a Tampa Bay Lightning player just sort of collided, and Carcone got his hands a little bit too high, hit a Lightning's player face, and the guy was bleeding on the bench. So a total miscall there, I agree. But in this sequence, brutal reffing. Durzi gets boarded in the corner, no call. His head hits the dasher board, you know, that little part of the board that separates the glass from the boards. His head bounces off that. Just an awful look and an awful hit. No call there. The puck in the same sequence goes to the other side of the boards, the other corner, and Krause has the puck, and the Tampa Bay Lightning player is literally punching Krause in the head, but I guess it's very subtle that the refs don't see it, and Krause retaliates with a very clear punch to the face to the Tampa player, and they only call Krause for the penalty. They just don't see the Tampa Bay player throwing his hands in the face area of Krause when he has a puck, and they call Krause's retaliation, which was a very clear punch to the face. But you want to see a call on the boarding or, call it an even penalty on both players when the Tampa Bay player is initiating contact with Krause's face with his hands. That's not how you defend. So some brutal reffing by the refs there. So Utah goes on a penalty kill, 2.5 minutes left in the third, which you don't want because you're only down 1 goal, and that's 2.5 minutes where you should be pulling your goalie and you should be playing 6-on-5, trying to get that tying goal. And on this PK, Vejmelka doing everything he can, desperation save after desperation save, keeping the game 1-0. But eventually the dam breaks, and a pretty questionable goal, but I'm not going to blame Vejmelka at all. It's a shot that squeaks through his arm. You don't like to see pucks squeak through your goalie, but pretty clear open lane for the player to shoot, and dying seconds of the game, and not going to put any blame on Vejmelka there. Near the end of the game, Sergachev turns into feisty bully Chev, where he starts throwing hands at former teammates, and the game ends 2-0. I thought it was a great competitive loss for Utah. They were right there sticking with one of the hottest teams in the league, even though they were the hottest team as well. Just two of the hottest teams colliding. They face a really great goaltender in Vasilevsky. The expected goals 5-on-5 were 3.2 for Utah. Remember, they have 0 against 1.63 against the Lightning, who also had 0 5-on-5 goals. Both of their goals coming on the power play. Total shots 28-27 in favor of Utah. Power play 0 for 4, just a complete failure of a power play, and they lose points in the standings because of their power play. Just competent average power play would have got them points in this game. PK 2 for 4. Again, they're allowing a lot of penalty kill goals against. The only remedy for that is either get better penalty killing or stay more disciplined and outscore your penalty killing troubles by having a good power play. So they're failing on all of those fronts. And then faceoffs 52%. The deserve to win-o-meter by Money Puck really liked Utah and showed that they had about a 67% deserve to win this game. The analytics loved Utah, already gave you the expected goals for, but really enjoyed this game. Much better than last season, when Utah went into Tampa Bay and lost 8-0 in the dying stretch of the season. So much better performance, loved it. You got the Florida Panthers tonight on a back-to-back. Try to get your win there because you got another elite team in Carolina later in the week. So Florida, they're a bit banged up. They're not playing up to their standard. Try to escape with a win there. I expect Vanacek to start the game against his former team, and hopefully things go well for the Utah Mammoth. So that's it for me. Thank you for watching. If you like what you see, spread the word. And as always, thank you for your support.